and what I believe is the most important question of our time, which is, what does it mean to be human? And the whole point of intelligence is our ability to have metacognition, to think about our thinking. For instance, questions like meaning, like purpose, like truth. What do these words mean, and what implications do they have as far as being human is concerned? Plato spoke about the Platonic values of beauty, goodness, and truth. So tell me, in this technological age, where is room for what is beautiful, what is good, and what is true? And what do those words mean to you? Our ability to feel pure, feel good, feel true inside. And these values matter more than ever. Now is the time to question what we hold dear and why we do what we do. Because as we become more automated, we become more like machines. And we've created machines to be better and to do things more efficiently than us. But the problem is, being human is not being efficient. Being human is being alive. Being human is watching a sunset. Being human is having tears in your eyes as you listen to a poem. Being human is listening to a piece of music and being so taken away that you become so present. And you enter this zone where time stands still, where all your issues become irrelevant. So the question really is not, will AI become sentient? The real question is, will we remain human? So I wrote this book called Leading with Wisdom as a guide for leaders and for individuals navigating the future, and what I believe is the most important question of our time, which is, what does it mean to be human? There wasn't a time where we needed to even ask this question, because we knew what the animals were, we knew what the trees were and the plants were, and we knew our place. But now that we've got an entire technological society built on emulating and at times becoming more efficient than humans, our place is being questioned for the first time, and our identity is being questioned for the first time. And we know very well that most of us don't even ask the most important questions like we did when the internet arrived, or when social media arrived, or when everything changed. Our social interactions, our personal interactions, our belief systems, our ways of thinking, our conditioned beliefs. We've not even had the opportunity to pause and reflect on what it means to be human. And I believe that if we don't do this at this particular time, as technology rolls on further, we will become more and more lost. And I see that every day. We are forgetting our place. It's weird that we say we're getting lost, because where can we be other than where we are right now? But the irony is, we don't know where we are. And how we find our place is based on our perception and our thinking. If you think about an animal is just there. They're not thinking about where they are. But we have statements where we say, I feel lost. I don't know where I am. I've lost my place. These are all concepts in our mind, and we don't question them. And the whole point of intelligence, which is a gift for human beings, is our ability to have metacognition, to think about our thinking. And most of us don't do that. Most of us simply think and then perceive and believe that our thoughts are our thoughts, when sometimes they've been influenced by society, influenced by our environment and our peers. And that becomes a trap when you have a social media platform or any type of technology where we spend our time that shapes our identities and our perceptions and our biases. And we never question these biases or these perceptions. We take them for granted as if though we've always believed this. And you can see how the narrative changes from moment to moment. What was right yesterday is wrong today. What was good yesterday is bad today. And what made sense yesterday no longer makes sense now. And what we took for granted for thousands of years is becoming into question. For instance, questions like meaning, like purpose, like truth. What do these words mean and what implications do they have as far as being human is concerned? Plato spoke about the Platonic values of beauty, goodness, and truth. So tell me, in this technological age, where is room for what is beautiful, what is good, and what is true? And what do those words mean to you? And have those meanings changed over these times? What does it mean when we talk about beauty? Are we talking about physical beauty? And physical beauty, is that universal? Has it always been this way, or is it shaped? Look at what humans find beautiful now in other humans. Look at what humans find beautiful now in objects, and how much that's changed. If you look at our paintings, our music, our culture, our poetry, who we hold dear in our society, our philosophers, our intellectuals, our thinkers, our leaders, and what values do we hold dear? Have they changed? What do you value? What about principles? What about morals? What about purpose and meaning? Why are you here? Are these questions relevant? Why do you do what you do? I think they're very relevant, yet most of us don't have the time or the patience or the need to answer these questions because we're too busy chasing our tails. And that's a problem, because what we are doing here and why we do what we do is what essentially drives us every single day. And if we're not driven by purpose, by meaning, by seeking goodness, beauty, and truth, then what are our lives about? What exactly are we here for? And that's the whole journey to becoming human. And the word soul has become abstract, has become something reserved for spiritual context. Yet our souls matter. We have a soul, we can't identify it, but we say, I feel it in my soul. What about our hearts? This organ of perception, rather than an organ that we're all obsessed with keeping healthy. But half of the health of this organ is our souls and our ability to feel pure, feel good, feel true inside. And these values matter more than ever. And it now is the time to question what we hold dear and why we do what we do. Because as we become more automated, we become more like machines. And we've created machines to be better and to do things more efficiently than us. But the problem is, being human is not being efficient. Being human is being alive. Being human is watching a sunset. Being human is having tears in your eyes as you listen to a poem. Being human is listening to a piece of music and being so taken away that you become so present. And you enter this zone where time stands still, where all your problems and all your issues become irrelevant. So the question really is not, will AI become sentient? The real question is, will we remain human? Do we know the differentiator of a human from a machine, and why that matters now more than ever? So we always compare technology to humans, but is that a fair comparison? Well, it is if you don't know what it means to be human. And that's why I wrote this book, which I believe is really important in this time, to educate people on what it means to be human. And it all starts with our leaders. And if you are in charge of your family or in charge of your life, then you're leading your life. And this book becomes very relevant. Because how you lead is how you live. And so we need to take a pause. We need to stop being automated. We need to stop being highly efficient. We need to embrace a state of meditative thinking. The ability to be. And it's not reserved for a meditation class. It's reserved for where we find ourselves right now as a people and as a planet. Because if we keep on going the way we're going, as far as our perception and our thinking and our actions, we're not in a good position to have a thriving universe, especially not a thriving planet and a thriving ecosystem. And our ecosystem within reflects our ecosystem without. And our ecosystem out there reflects our ecosystem within us. And what happens in one part of the world happens to all of us. And what happens to any of us happens to all of us. So there's this interrelatedness that people have forgotten about because of our siloed way of thinking, putting everything into little boxes. And that's great. Happiness over there, sadness over there, joy over there, thinking over there, God over there, religion over there, children over there, family over there. But where do they intersect? And where is me? Where is I? And who is I? And who is me? These questions seem bothersome, and we don't have the time for that because we're too busy managing our efficiency. And we've only got 4 seconds to think about something, and we've got to get on to the next thought. But now is the time. If there was a time that mattered more than ever for you to be still, to pause, to reflect, it is now. As Blaise Pascal said, all man's problems stem from the fact that he can't sit alone in his own place of quiet. And if you can't do that, then be prepared for becoming an automated human being, a machine. And your soul becomes irrelevant. Your desires become irrelevant. Your meaning and your purpose and what truth means to you becomes irrelevant too. And if you're okay with that, that's perfectly fine. Because there's some people who pretend like there's nothing bad going on, that everything's great. And there's a lot of good happening in this world. And a huge uprising of consciousness as well. But if you're elated and you find no problem with the way we're living and how the earth is right now, then I think a pause is required.